Hello everyone, and welcome to Stockbusters on TFNFinancialNews.com. I'm your host, Andrew McCord. Well, it'll take more than a fairy tale ogre, a drunken pirate, 13 overpaid actors, surfing penguins, a CGI rat, and a whole gaggle of superheroes to save this summer's movie season from being, if you'll excuse the reference, a disaster of biblical proportions. Evan Almighty, a takeoff on the Noah's Ark story and sequel to 2003's Bruce Almighty, cost $250 million to make and opened with only $32 million in U.S.-Canadian sales. Pirates of the Caribbean 3 and Shrek the Third, expected to bring big bucks to the box office, have also fallen short of lofty expectations. And Marvel Entertainment didn't help either. Despite its runaway success with Spider-Man 3, which has grossed $880 million to date, as impressive as these returns were, Ian Cooper, executive editor of Death Cross Trader and our resident box office guru, predicted that Marvel's share price was due for a drop once Spidey swung into theaters. Back in April, Ian wrote in a TFN news alert that Marvel stock could follow a predictable pattern of downturn once Spider-Man 3 was released. And he was right. Just as it had after the first two Spider-Man movies came out, Marvel's price slid from $30 to $26, and he was right back here on Stockbusters when it did to say, "I told you so." But Ian wasn't finished yet. After he finished bragging, he called for more rough terrain ahead for Marvel, despite the release of their second big summer movie, Fantastic Four 2, right around the corner.
Well, I'm bearish on Marvel again and again. Months after saying this, I'll be back to say, "I told you so," based on the pre- and post-hype surrounding Marvel's release of Fantastic Four.
So we issued another challenge to him. Come back on Stockbusters and face the music after Fantastic Four comes out. Okay, Ian, so here we are, already into July, and Fantastic Four 2 is come and gone. Fill us in. Was this another Ian Cooper bullseye?
You know, I feel like a broken record, but for the second time, I told you so.
All right. It's a good thing I don't have any money on these challenges. So what happened this time?
Well, trading pre- and post-film releases from Marvel isn't rocket science. It's due diligence using nothing more than historical trends. All three Spider-Man releases did the same thing to Marvel shares before and after the release, and so did Fantastic Four, as did Fantastic Four 2. Marvel's share price ran high prior to the film's release and began its descent after it hit theaters. Ahead of Fantastic Four 1, hype surrounding the film drove the stock from about 17 to more than 22. Following the film's debut, though, the stock fell from about 22 to about 14. We expected the same situation to unfold following the release of Fantastic Four 2, and we got it as the stock pulled back from about 27 to 25 and changed in a sustainable downtrend.
All right, well, congratulations on the third call, Ian. Now, what's the deal here? I never seem to see any analyst warnings on Marvel before these drops in price. Are they just not paying attention?
You know, probably not, which is why it doesn't pay to follow the mainstream experts. You know, on April 17th, I issued my bearish alert on Marvel with Spider-Man 3's release. Almost a month later, JP Morgan and Janco agreed and downgraded the stock ahead of the April 30th release. I caught the top of Marvel at 30 and watched it fall to 26 after a release. By May 9th, Janco and JP Morgan downgraded the stock at about 27 and watched it fall to 26 before the stock took off on a stock buyback announcement. Then on June 6th, I said the same thing would happen to Marvel after Fantastic Four's June 15th release. On June 6th, Marvel traded at about $26.50 and has since sunk to $25.50. Believe it or not, on June 15th, the same date of Fantastic Four 2's release, Matrix Research upgraded the stock just in time for it to flounder from $27 to $25.50. You can see why I don't listen to broker challenges. I just don't care what analysts think. I'm not paid to rehash their bad advice. I'm out to make sure you don't suffer because of it.
Well, you're making believers out of a lot of Stockbusters viewers, that's for sure. But tell me, Ian, what have you got for us today? What should investors be avoiding right now?
Well, if there was another near-term Marvel release, I'd say short Marvel again following the release. I think Iron Man is the next from Marvel. I'm not banging the house on the success of Iron Man, though. I have a hard time picturing Robert Downey Jr. as a superhero. To me, it's the equivalent of Dolph Lundgren playing Superman. It doesn't fit. However, I'm inclined to short Hasbro after a release of the Transformers film. Hasbro, it seems, hasn't had much success with toys based on films, but Transformers is based on a toy. The recent coiled spring on a 6-month Marvel chart tells us to stay away for now ahead of the release. Solid sales of Transformer toys could be a near-term catalyst for Hasbro, though from a contrarian view, once the hype dies, so does the stock at 31. If Transformers weren't coming out, I'd say short at 31 without a doubt based on so-so Spider-Man 3 toy sales. A possible upside for Hasbro is the fact that it owns a Transformers brand. On most related products, it doesn't have to worry about royalty payments, and it can license out the name, which it already did with video games and cell phone games. Possible downside comes into play on the realization that the film is already priced into Hasbro and the realization of slowing '08 sales despite new film releases.
So where is Hasbro heading in price? Can you give us some numbers here?
Well, we're safely anticipating a slight $3 drop in the underlying price of Hasbro in the weeks following the Transformers release. We're waiting on toys sales result and a realization that the film release has already been priced in. There's a coiled spring of uncertainty on the chart right now. We're on the sidelines for the next week, but stay tuned to Death Cross Trader, though, for final decision and put option play.
Okay, Ian, well, we'll keep a close eye on Hasbro in the coming weeks to see if you can keep your hot streak going here on Stockbusters. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks for being here.
Thanks. Looking forward to it.
If you'd like to hear more of Ian's recommendations and market insights, you can do so in his free daily e-letter, American Capitalist. Sign up information is available right here at taipanfinancialnews.com. Till next time, I'm Andrew McCord. Have a good day and keep your portfolio safe.